My name is Duncan Maina Madenge, Member of Parliament, Nyeri Town Constituency. And this Sunday morning, before going to church, I decided to have a meeting, a briefing meeting with the OCPD, Nyeri Police Division, and the OCS, Nyeri Central Police Station, over the state of illicit alcohol sales in Nyeri and the surrounding urban areas, Orengu, Kamakwa, Ibiro, Shorongi. And it is clear we have a problem. And the problem is not that our police officers are not acting and enforcing the law. The records at this police station are showing a stirring performance by our police officers in raiding bars that are selling the illicit alcohol, and homesteads that have been converted into mini breweries for mixing ethanol and putting it in branded bottles and distributing it to our people, our unsuspecting young people. We have one case in the area around Shiaraini, where for the second time a residence owned by one of the renowned traders in this constituency, who goes by the name of Mengo. This business of selling illicit alcohol has now become a family business for that family. In the first incidents, the illicit alcohol that was found, the person taken to court was a daughter to this person. 2 days ago, the same residential area, bottles for smart blood of alcohol, ethanol in jerry cans, and KRA stamps for alcohol. And there is no way that our judiciary system and our laws can continue to abet or to assist serial offenders because they have the right to bail, to get released, go back as the cases are going on, and continue manufacturing and distributing this poison. And today, I want to ask, isn't KRA concerned that there are so many counterfeit KRA stamps in the hands of low alcoholic traders? And what is KRA as an institution doing to protect, to ensure that the KRA stamps can no longer be counterfeited and they can no longer be available as they are so readily and easily available in residential houses in a rural Nyeri Town constituency? The Kenya Bureau of Standards. There is a need for the Kenya Bureau of Standards to revise the standards for alcoholic drinks in this country. Because again, the standards that have been approved for alcoholic drinks in this country apparently are so low that you only need to mix ethanol in water and you distribute it. And you cannot tell whether it meets the standards or not. There is also need to strengthen the Kenya Counterfeit Authority. It is not possible that we have an office, a regional office for the Kenya Counterfeit Authority that does not have surveillance officers, that does not have enforcement officers. And therefore, this war, on one side, from the political front, we seem to be doing quite a bit. But once the arrests have been made and people have been handed over to the office of the ODPP for prosecution, our problems begin immediately. It is not also possible that in this country, that the only body that can test alcohol and counterfeit goods is the government chemist, which has a single office in Nairobi, so that nationally every substance that needs testing has to go to the government chemist in Nairobi. KEBS has a regional presence. We need to either devolve the government chemist or on board KEBS and other labs I do not know why, for example, a laboratory, a chemical laboratory at Kimeumana University, where chemists are being trained, cannot become a testing center for the region for these alcoholic drinks. And when you look at the presence of these universities, we have one here in Nyeri town. We have another one in Karatina. You go to Laikipia, we have one. You go to Shuka, we have one. You go to Kirinyaga, we have one. You go to Moranga, we have one. Why can't we accredit those laboratories for testing on behalf of government chemists or KEBS? And it is becoming difficult for our police officers to continue operating, because once a police officer has gone in the course of duty, they are being sued and court orders issued against them individually as an OCS commanding Nyeri Central Police Station or Kamakwa Police Station. And on that note, the office of the AG must be more proactive in protecting government officers in the course of duty. Because when an OCS is taken to court for contempt of court, who represents the OCS? When a court order is issued against an OCS, who is supposed to contest that court order? And therefore, there is a need for us to expand this conversation. The other step is for me to call upon my fellow members of parliament that we need to step in and strengthen the law on alcoholic trade, because now there is no difference between people who are selling illicit alcohol to our young people, killing them, and Al-Shabaab terrorists. And this issue of counterfeiting is spiraling out of hand. Look at the issue we have with the subsidized fertilizer. Again, it is counterfeit, and therefore there is need for us to redefine acts of terrorism, so that it is not just about Al-Shabaab and external threat. When you are selling ethanol to our people, they go bright, they die. How should we treat that? How can that be a normal, simple crime? So there is a need for us to up our game. But most importantly, I need to appeal to the office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, that the young people who are now in the office of the ODPP, when you look at the success rate of the cases versus when we had police as prosecutors, we can see a gap, and there is need at this point in time, especially in the war against alcohol, illicit alcohol, for this to change. However, let me make my final appeal to Nyeri town constituency residents and to Nyeri county residents, that if the law cannot protect us from these merchants who are selling us poison, we will have to protect ourselves from these merchants. It is not possible for us to celebrate people who come and put up big mansionettes in our neighborhoods, but the proceeds used to construct those houses are proceeds from the graves where we have buried our young men and women from consuming alcohol. This alcohol is one of the contributors, illicit alcohol, to the rising cases of cancer, especially colorectal cancer in Nyeri. Because ethanol is not supposed to be consumed low, but that is what we are being sold. The other component is all of us, please be more vigilant. If you start noticing that in my compound, you only used to see 2 vehicles, now they have increased to 5. All of a sudden, for out of the 5, 3 of them are proboxes and they are regular. 2 of them are canters. Have an interest and report to our law enforcement so that they can have better surveillance. It is important that as residents, we also take on the responsibility of protecting ourselves from these merchants of death.